Welcome to hiberNATION, the podcast where we dive deep into the stories, people, and events that shape Mountain View High School. From student achievements to behind-the-scenes insights, we bring you in-depth interviews with the voices that make MVHS unique. So, get comfy, tune in, and join the hiberNATION, because there's always more to the story.
Today, I have a very special guest with me. It is Carter Jenne.
What's up, guys?
So, Carter, I mean, you've been like a staple of this film program and the television program. I mean, geez, this is your senior year.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me about, some of your accomplishments. Like what?
I mean, first of all, it feels like I've done so much, and it feels like I could do some more, but I realize I only have one term left. And so I'm like, this is the end of my high school experience. But it's fun to look back on all the memories, of high school. So, let's go off, the classes I've taken, the film classes. So I think sophomore year I took Vid 1. Didn't really like it that much because, I don't know. It just wasn't my thing.
Probably a horrible teacher.
Yeah, probably. No. And then junior year, I took broadcasting in Vid 2, and then that's when I fell in love with it. I think I went on New York that year. I met, all the amazing people in the film program, and it made me, love it so much, and that's when I, started taking it seriously and pursuing it as a career. And so... Sorry. And so at that point, I started getting, really invested. I was like, all right, I'm only going to be included as much as I work. So I started working really hard because I wanted to be included a lot. So I competed in the All-American Spring Invitational that year, and then next year last year, I put all my effort into New York, had so much fun there. And then in Tampa, I put, even more effort into it, and... I don't know, I came out with a second place trophy, if you talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely had a lot of success
Yeah.
in the film program here. I mean, you've been, super instrumental in the wins that we've had, in the quality, the upping of the quality of our content here at Mountain View High School. So first of all, thanks for that. I mean,
Thank you.
For lending your talent and just your, good attitude, man. Just salt of the earth kind of guy over here, guys. So why are you tired, Carter? Why are you yawning?
Why am I so tired? Well, let me tell you. Yesterday at 10, we landed back in Salt Lake from Tampa Bay, Florida. We went and competed in the STN. I personally competed in Crazy It's Action and music video. Crazy It's Action, I think we got DQ'd for not having a title card and credits. What? But then music video, I got second place, and for music video, I filmed and edited that. My amazing friend, Sierra, she directed it, and then Serena was an actor, and Marley was an actor. I had so much fun doing that.
Awesome. And walk me through, what were some of the prompts? So, you get there, right? And you don't even know what song you're doing. And so, I mean, sometime in the morning, they, send you a Google Drive link or something, right, with some songs, and you have to choose. And then do they give you other prompts too? I mean, walk me through that whole thing and what you're doing, because in my mind I'd be just freaking out because it's so many elements that they're just throwing at you, and now they're here, now 6 hours, go ahead and create the whole thing. Yeah,
for music video, we decided to go in with no plan. We were all right, we know who's gonna do what roles, and that was it. That was all of our planning. So at when the competition started, part of our competition time was choosing one of the 3 songs to do and what we were gonna film, which was it was so stressful because early in the morning, none of us, it was 9 a.m. Tampa time, so that's 7 a.m. Utah time, so we were up at 6 a.m. Utah, which was not fun, but... And that was the day after we filmed the action film. So we were already tired from that, and then we go into this competition. None of us were agreeing on anything. We eventually got something good, and then we just you have to run with it. Like, what you decide at that morning is what you do. And so we started running with it. We just started filming, basically. And for the prompt, I don't remember there being, like, a specific theme we had to do. We just had to pick one of the songs.
Oh, okay. Okay. Were there any little moments of, like, inspiration throughout the day where you're, like, filming, and then all of a sudden it's just, like revelation, like, oh, this would be amazing to put in, like, this part of the film?
Mm-hmm. Well, I was kind of just filming. I was letting Sierra come up with all the ideas while we were filming. But once we got to the editing room, and I basically just had a blank template and a bunch of clips to put into it. And so then that's when I started having these, like, aha moments, and I started, like, piecing everything together, and I just got into a groove. I was like, okay, this works. And I was just having a great time.
Man, that's awesome. What locations did you use?
We used the hotel room we were staying in. We used a park. It was like 5 minutes out from the hotel. And then we used a different park that was maybe like 10 minutes out from the hotel. And then we had to drive 30 minutes to the convention center, and then edit it in like 3 hours. So
Cool. And why did you choose the song that you chose out of the three?
It was the best song out of them. No shade to the STN, but all the other songs were kind of they're kind of just mid songs. So we're like, all right, this is the best one. Let's do something with this one.
That's fair. And then what was sort of like the plot or like the storyline of your music video?
So the plot was about this girl. We didn't give her name in the film, so the actress, Serena, she got like a note from her dead grandma that was basically like, you have to be the light in this world, like you have to spread your kindness. And so the film was about her going out and spreading her kindness and like kind of fulfilling her grandma's wishes.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. Yeah, and it's really touching at the end, right, when she pulls out the letter, right, from the grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was powerfully done.
Thank you.
Really nice. Okay, let's shift gears then. So we have this like feel-good music video that you guys did.
Yeah.
And then we have action, right? So
yeah.
Walk me through action. I mean, obviously this one you probably didn't just wing, right? So walk me through some of the preparation first. Walk me through pre-production.
So first step was coming up with an idea. I think you were the one who came up with like the original twist that it was all just a child playing with his action figures. Like, you came up with that idea. And then me and Ben took that and we just kind of ran with it. And so then we started like coming up with like more of a story to build off of, like, okay, maybe the janitor, we have like a janitor and he's like trying to steal this suitcase from this like fancy guy, and we were like, okay. And then we were trying to make sense in the context of this little kid. And so then that's all the script writing we did. And then we took maybe like 90 minutes or like 2 hours, and we just figured out the fight scene. And so we went to like a local trampoline park, and we went to their like big spring floor is what it's called, and we just kind of like fought on the spring floor, and we got a lot of weird looks from people. But we pieced it together, and we were just bouncing ideas off of each other. It was a great experience. He's such a good person to work with. I loved working with him. We got our like fight scene done, and then we had to go in and we had to buy the props and figure out what we're using. I think we bought some of the props like in Tampa Bay right before we started filming, and so it was like preparation all the way until we started filming. And then while we were filming, we just put everything into plan. There was still like a little improvisation that happened like during filming, but we never strayed too far away from our original concept.
I like that. So it definitely sounds like you went in with a really good plan. You guys had some good preparation. I could ask though, like when you guys were choreographing your fights at the trampoline park, like any injuries? Did anybody get hurt?
Nobody got hurt. There were like a couple funny situations where me or Ben would like accidentally hit each other pretty hard, but we're both pretty resilient, and so we just laughed it off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can definitely see, you guys have great chemistry on screen too, which is really, really fun to watch. Two people that just get along. They're having fun with it. Okay, so day of, you've got, seriously, like, it's just such a kick butt action sequence. Like, as soon as the case is taken, it goes into this chase scene and then into this, like, fist fight, kicking. I mean, did you have a certain style that you were going for? Or, I mean, walk me through, like, all that fun action stuff.
So, for the parkour scene, because we'll just do that first. I've been doing parkour for around a decade now. Like, I've been learning how to do flips and stuff. So I often will, like, just go out into public and, like, find cool stuff, and I'll, like, build parkour lines just out of my head. So I had a little bit of practice. So once we got there, I just kind of looked at where we were filming, and I went, oh, okay, so I could jump up to there, slide down there, jump down there. And that's how the parkour scene went. It was really natural to me. I just kind of did it. And then for the fight scene, what me and Ben were focusing on for the choreographing is we wanted, like, there to be hills. Like, we wanted big, flashy moves, and then a bunch of, like, little fighting moves, and then big, flashy, and then little fighting.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, so kind of varying it up for the audience
Yeah.
a little bit, making it kind of visually interesting, right?
And another thing we were working on is, like, making the fighting three-dimensional. So we were going forward, backward, left, right, and then also up and down is the most important part. A lot of people forget that. So it's just fighting on the feet. We went on the floor a lot. And that's what I think made the fight scene so interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And it is really interesting. You can check it out on YouTube channel, MVHS Pulse TV. It's going to be up there. Highly recommend you guys check this film out. It is really, really cool. These guys did an amazing job choreographing it and then executing that choreo. It's just really, really cool. Okay, so this three-dimensional fighting, I mean, where do you learn this stuff? Like, what is your, like, do you take classes for this, or?
So when I was 3, I started doing Taekwondo, and then I have my black belt in Taekwondo. So that's when all my fighting. But to get your black belt, you have to choreograph a fight scene, basically. And then, so that's when that was, like, my first exposure to fighting and fight choreography. And, like flashier move, like, there's practical moves and there's moves that look cool. So that was, like, my first encounter with that. And then I got better with it, like, doing short films and then working on your feature film as, like, an intern. Like, choreographing those fight scenes, that helped me a lot.
That's awesome. And maybe we'll come back to that in just a second. Yeah, because, I mean, you're doing an amazing job choreographing those fight scenes. They look just super cool. Excited for people to see some of that, too. So, I mean, once the whole film, like, everything's said and done, I mean, when you were watching it back for the first time, what were your thoughts?
Whoa. I didn't see the camera once when we were filming, so I loved seeing, like, all the different shots and, like, the look that we went for, and then also I loved seeing, like, how well our fighting looked. Like, it looked so realistic. I was so proud of us for that. And then I kept watching it. I mean, I found, like, a few little things that I would have changed, but nothing I'm, like, distraught over.
Yeah, as artists, we're definitely our own worst enemies sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we pick apart our own work and we're like, man, I wish I would have done that better or this better. Which is great for future projects, but, you know, in the moment, it's like, oh, man, I wish we would have done this differently. Especially when you have limited editing time, too, because I know that, you know, you guys had, like, so many good shots, but I know that sometimes when you're rushing, trying to get it edited, you know, sometimes you don't have enough time to really put in all the clips or all the sound effects and things like that. And sound design, obviously, is a huge part of action, right? You want to hear those fists hit. You want to hear, hear the kicks landing, that kind of a thing. And so the film turned out awesome. And obviously, the music video got second place, like you mentioned. So, I mean, it seems like just good teamwork, hard work, definitely a lot of talent out of you guys, and great job representing Mountain View High School
Thank you.
and Utah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool to see our state, Utah, where we live, do so well. Like a bunch of the schools around us really do a great job at these competitions. So that's really exciting. And Mountain View in particular has really kind of skyrocketed the last couple of years of these competitions, really kind of making a name for your guys's, for yourselves. And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So talk to me about choreographing the fight scenes for Quantum Flux, which is an upcoming feature film. I mean, what was some of your inspiration for those fight scenes?
For inspiration, just movies in general. I love the fight scenes from Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, in their fight scenes, there's never like a dull just like fighting on flat ground. Like they're always like on top of something, jumping from like place to place and fighting, and it always looks so good. So that was my inspiration for making it 3-dimensional. And then YouTube, like just people on YouTube, those help me get like more specific moves, and then also just like stuff that come from my brain or stuff that happens in the moment, and the other actors like collaborating with me and like, oh hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? And be like, oh yeah, it would be so cool.
I love that. Have there been any fun moments of like inspiration where like you come in with a game plan, right? But then like you see the way somebody moves, or you see like an object or like the room you're in, and you're like, oh, like this could really elevate it. Any moments like that you can think of?
Yeah. In one of the fight scenes in your movie, one of the plans was for, I think, moveset to catch Oren's foot and then like flip him over, but then we like saw like a folding chair just in the room, and we went, hey, what if he like grabbed the folding chair, clamped it around his leg, and then flipped him around? And I just love that so much because it used like our environment in the film, and it made it just pop. Right?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it definitely it takes it from just kind of maybe like your first thought, right, which would be like, oh yeah, he just grabs his foot and twists, right, and then it just kind of like makes it a little bit more obviously entertaining, but kind of playful too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, hey, look, this is your environment. What would you use? You'd get scrappy and maybe come up with some other ideas.
Yeah, of course.
So I would love to know, what is ahead for Carter Jenne? Like, we've got a few more months of high school, and then what are you hoping to accomplish then? And then what are you doing this summer? And then looking forward after that?
Okay, so for high school, I'm planning on getting out my own film. I've written the entire thing. I just need, I think, actors and then a location to film, and then we'll get that rolling. We're trying to, then the first, like, we're gonna try as hard as we can to get it out like before April or something for that one competition. If we can't do that, we're gonna submit it to All American. And that deadline isn't until June. And then after that, I'm going to Utah Tech to study digital film and media. I'm so excited for that. And then from there, just like climb the corporate ladder, I guess.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I mean, that
Thank
sounds
you.
like, it sounds like an amazing plan. Are you starting at Utah Tech in the summer, or are you going in fall?
I'm going in the fall.
Okay. So like, any summer plans, or are you just trying to relax a little bit at work?
I've got a jaw surgery June 2nd, so I'm going to be recovering the whole summer and then going straight to college.
Oh, man.
But
is one of the worst parts of the jaw surgery that you probably won't be able to do, like, much parkour and, like, the stuff you love to do?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there probably won't be much mountain biking this summer, so
Shoot.
whatever. I mean, in
right,
Utah,
middle of season.
or down in St. George, it'll be super warm, so I'll get some biking in then, get some parkour in.
That's true. It's like year-round fun down there.
Yeah,
okay.
It'll be great.
Okay. Wow, jaw surgery. How long is the recovery on that?
It's like 6 weeks until I can chew. And even then, I have to, like, build my way up from, like, bread to crackers.
Oh, my gosh.
And then, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, stay strong. I know
Thank you.
I know you will, because that's who you are. But yeah, I for one am super excited to see where your career goes. what you're able to accomplish in the future, and then of course all of the cool, fun projects and things.
Thank you.
So I hope you won't, forget about us little guys
I will not.
when you get to the top. So
I'm also super excited. I love new things, and I'm just going into a new chapter, so I am pumped.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on hiberNATION, Carter.
Of course.
Really appreciate chatting with you, getting to pick your brain, getting to hear about your cool projects and your future.
Thanks.
Thanks, brother.
Of course.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
See ya.